Mic check, 1, 2. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Living Freestyle live stream, AMA Q&A with Unreal Engine 4 and soon to be 5. Tonight, we're going to continue our helicopter psychology and AI adventure. Just as a quick recap, you can always go back and watch those videos. Basically, there's a thing that you learn about in fundamentals of instruction, Maslow's triangle. At the bottom is physiology and stuff like that. We're trying to stack on that kind of just psychology into our AI to make them feel a little more sentient. As always, questions and everything like that takes priority. So I'll flip over to questions if we have any of those, and otherwise I'm basically going to be making a game. So I'll be here for the next hour. We work this like office hours every Sunday night and Wednesday morning. If you missed this, you have questions for next time, or you have questions about this time, throw them in the comments below, and I will try to include those in the next session. Sweet. All right. With that, do a quick check to see if we have any questions, which it doesn't look like we do. Basically, I just realized that I have been streaming without showing you the screen. That's a genius move, huh? I'm getting good at this. All right. So this is the screen we're supposed to be looking at. I think we should start this stream all over again. What do you all think? All right, let's recap here. I'll try to be better at making sure I have the screens updated. Last time I streamed a whiteboard, this time I streamed my face. Okay, so recap of what in the heck I've been talking about this whole time since you couldn't see it. When we came in here and we saw an enemy, he walks away, pretty much feels like he should look at me, he doesn't. All right, so we were trying to track that down. So then what happened was, the real quick recap is I turn around, I came into the enemy character and I was looking at this AI perception. And originally we only had sight on, right? When we first started here, this was set to AI sight. And in the sense, this was all the radius, etc., etc. All I did was delete out this sight config. And then, or I actually put in a damage one because I wanted to see if we could sense the damage. That didn't work. What I'll do is we'll go ahead and stream for an extra 15 minutes tonight, just to kind of make up for the fact that I'm a genius. So anyways, and then when this, in order to simplify things to see if we were picking up the damage, what I did is I went ahead and I deleted the site, and then I was coming back here and we weren't actually getting any change. The enemy wasn't hitting our breakpoint. So specifically, I'm going to leave that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I was doing was, see how we have this breakpoint on perception change? We deleted sight. Let me go back. Actually, let me show you both of these. So let's just add sight back in, AI sight. Okay, 90, we're looking around 90, that's fine. What should happen now is we should hit that breakpoint when he sees me. That's weird. We didn't hit that breakpoint though. We were definitely printing hello though. AI site. Oh, I remember why. It's because when we started, we were doing detection by affiliation and we're neutral. That's what it was. Okay, so if we come in here and the print string's wrong, it's going to show damage. But all right, we hit the breakpoint. That's great. So let's just resume and we'll quit out. Now, also, real quick tip. If you're working with a single monitor, one of my favorite hotkeys is Control Tab, because what it'll do is it goes back to the last window you were using. All right. So if I'm working on something in here and then I need to go back to the level, I can Control Tab. It goes right back to the map, and I'm right back in the map. Control Tab right back to where I was working. So in this particular case, where I had gotten to was I went down this rabbit hole. We were trying to track down where this damage was happening. So I came up here. We were doing show damage, and I added in an event called on damaged. We are hitting this breakpoint. Okay, so here we have in our AI perception, if we delete out our site, we have damage. I have selected damage here, but for some reason, when I do that, we no longer, if I shoot the character, you can see I put this breakpoint back in. I'm not going to hit this breakpoint when I damage the character. No breakpoint, right? So that's not good. Obviously, we were trying to hit that breakpoint, but yet for some reason, if I come up here and I do damage, I actually use the on damaged event. What ends up happening is I'll hit that breakpoint. Boom, we hit that breakpoint, we're gonna print hello. All right. So in this particular case, where I had gotten to was what I was about to say was we're at a little bit of a crossroads here. So on one hand, this is a prototype. We just got to get it to work. But on the other hand, there's it bugs me that I don't have damage sense figured out, because we should be able to figure it out. So what am I getting at here? What I could do is I could just get it so that I just tie into event on damage, and I can use that to get back and maybe update the AI to look around when that happens. I can update a blackboard value, it can go in, it'll take the damage, it'll know where it's coming from, all the same things. But like I said, I'm at a crossroads. On one hand, I want to just get the prototype done, but on the other hand, there's a little bit of like investigation in me, problem solver, that wants to figure out why damage sense isn't working too. So I think I'm going to make the choice to take a look at one other thing with the damage sense, specifically because I think I just noticed something while I was recapping beforehand. So let's go back and take a look at this. So we'll leave that breakpoint there. We have our breakpoint down here. When we look at the AI perception, I think I may have just forgotten to fill in a value. So that value here is all AI damage sense config, which makes sense, because remember what I said earlier, you couldn't see it earlier because the screen was just my face. And so, but I said it's weird that it didn't have any options, and I had just missed setting this. So let's kind of come back now that we've actually selected the damage sense and see if we hit that breakpoint now. All right, we definitely hit on damaged. We still didn't hit that damage sensed. He is running away though. I thought for sure that was gonna get us there. On perception, oh wait, are we having the same problem where it's damage sense, AI sense damage, max age, starts enabled. Let's just trash this whole thing. Oh, that's the dominant sense. AI damage sense. Implementation. AI sense damage. That's in code. All right. We may, I may have to do some troubleshooting on this one offline, and I'll show you a different way to work around this for prototype purposes. Because when I hit this dude, he is not sensing that damage. And it could be something like we're on neutral team, so maybe there's a thing in there. It is definitely printing hello though. Wait a minute. It prints hello. Oh, that's from our damage up here. Okay, cool. So we'll come back to this damage stuff. The perception itself will come back later. For now, let's just implement this using the update damage on damage. So we're going to come in here. We're going to do this. Let's see what we have here in the hit info. So when you get something like this, you can break the struct and kind of see what's going on. Let me move this up so we can see. All right, so we've got location, impact point, normal, all kinds of stuff. So the interesting thing is we actually have a normal. And I don't know what that looks like, in the sense that is it a normalized normal? In other words, could we get the facing direction or which way we want to turn as a result of that? So one thing we could do is, if we get hit, we could just update our AI perception so that we increase our look around radius, right? Or we could say look all around you, figure out where the damage is coming from. So let's do the one where we look all around us. I think that'll be more interesting from an AI standpoint. So let's see here. Fighting, flighting, patrol or scan. Tell friends. That's the tell friends, and then it's gonna come in here and do all of this stuff, fight or flight or whatever. For now, let's just move to get random location, look around task. Let's take a look at this. The look around task takes the pawn, gets a random. Oh, it sets its rotation mode. It gets my location or the enemy's location. And then what it does is it says it looks in a random location, reachable point. And then from that point, it will set that as the focal point. All right. So what we could do is let's just duplicate this. Let's call this look for damage. Look for damage task. And what we're going to do is we're going to update this so that same thing. We're going to go ahead and get a random location, and then we'll set the focal point. It's kind of the exact same thing, and we're going to leave it like this because we may actually end up updating this. And then what we want to do is we want to add line of sight, health percent, current location. Let's add a new variable to this blackboard. And let's call it Boolean recent damage. Okay, and let's save that. And then in our enemy, on this, I want to get the blackboard. And I'm going to get the blackboard for myself. And then what we're going to do is we are going to set, we need to set a value. Set a value as Boolean, the key name. Is going to be, I think it was just called B recent damage. It was B recent damage. We're going to set that to true. So if we take damage, what we're going to do is we're going to update our blackboard. The blackboard is, it's kind of like the thing that communicates with the AI engine, the AI tree, and it allows you to kind of store variables between different blueprints for the AI tree to potentially use. It's kind of just like this, almost like a blackboard that the character can reference at any point from different places. At least that's the way I think about it in my mind. So we're going to set our Boolean value as true, and then just to make sure that this is working, we're going to come back to our AI tree, and inside of our tree, what I want to do is I'm going to drag off of this. We're going to do damage. Look for damage task. All right. And if we find damage, what I want to do is, let's just make this simple for right now. Blackboard. Let's get Blackboard. Value is bool. Make a Blackboard key selector. Wait, that seems weird. I feel like there's a better way to do that. That's the health. Sets the Blackboard value. I'm looking for another example of this. Let's see here. Set focus. Okay, so we get the value. Okay, so this is why we're looking at this. So we get the Blackboard off the controller, and then we get a value from that. So now we can come back from this. So from here, get the Blackboard. And then we're going to get value as Boolean from that. I knew that looked weird. Okay, let's get rid of this. We're going to make that. We're going to make a literal name, and this is the v recent damage. And if that's true, let's just skip this for now because we're just testing. So if that's true, we're going to once again print a string. Recent damage. Great. So let's just test this out. There are many reasons why this wouldn't work. A lot of it just has to do with the way the AI tree works. So either we're not calling our AI tree, or we're not getting into here in the sequence. So if we save this, let's just double check. We're setting that Blackboard value. That looks good. Let's make sure we're doing damage. We're going to check all of this. Print string. Damage received. Save that. Let's play. Let's shoot this guy again. All right, so we're receiving damage. We're updating our Blackboard. It's looking for this task, but for some reason, when we receive this, we're not actually hitting that breakpoint. All right, so let's put a breakpoint in there and see if we are. Okay, wait. Okay. So we're definitely hitting this. It's coming in this task, but what's happening is we're never hitting this print string. So we're coming in here. So now we're not even hitting, but we are hitting that. Oh, I got it. We're checking out here. Let's finish execute as a success. I forgot. That's why we never came back in. All right, so this time, okay, the sequence is definitely looking for damage, but for some reason we're not actually hitting this breakpoint. What a night. This is gonna take a long time to make this game at this rate. What other events do we have in here? Maybe there's some other event that's getting called. Hold on. Event. These are all anim notifies. Alternative AI version receive execute that if both generic and AI events are implemented, only the more suitable. Entry point task will stay active until finish execute called. Ah, jeez Louise, man. So, all right. So the problem is we're never getting to our finish execute. And the reason we're not getting to our finish execute is the first time we come in here, we haven't actually done any damage yet. And so our false case is not ever finishing. So for now, because of debugging, we need to actually have this connected. Now we should actually be able to. So we were basically stuck in this. All right. We were stuck in there. When we shoot this guy, damage received, boom. Finally, we're actually getting some damage done. Okay, cool. So then we can finish execute here. So now we know every time we shoot this dude, we're doing our damage. This is cool. Okay, great. We'll keep our finish execute in there. We can resume. Now we can go back to our blueprint. So now that we've come through here, what we want to do is maybe what we should do is let's see if we can update our AI site perception. I know, go back to the perception. I'm a glutton for punishment here. Here's our AI site config. Our dominant sense is going to be site in this case. We were at 90 and we want to make sure our detection by affiliation, we're just going to use everybody right now because we don't want to cause stress here. Make this simple. So let's see if we can actually get a handle to the census config in this blueprint. I don't know if we can actually do that, but let's see. We have the controller and we have the control pawn. So let's get this. Actually, let's cast this to enemy maybe. Cast to enemy, and then as the enemy, get perception. Get the AI perception. Okay, so we can get that. And then what can we find with the senses? All right. Well, I know we can set sense enabled. That's not going to help us though. Get assets, current states, owner. Get the actor's perception. Target is an AI. Retrieves whatever has been sensed about a given actor. That's not really what we want. Get known perceived actors. Get primary asset ID. Camera systems. Oh, bind event. Oh, you know what we could do? Hold on. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't look like I can do anything here. What I'm wondering though is, can I do anything in here? With this AI perception, can I set sense? Nope. Get sense. Nope. Wow, this AI perception is stonewalling us right now. I should be able to get an array off of this thing, I would hope, that would allow me to update the perceived peripheral vision half angles degrees. Let's see if we can do that. Peripheral. I'm going to remove this context sensitive to see if I can find this, where it comes from. Spelling. Set peripheral vision angle. This comes from a pawn sensing component. Let's see if there's another peripheral. That's the only one. Okay, so somehow we need to get a pawn sensing component. It's server only. So this is only going to execute on the server. That's fine. That's okay. So what kind of component? This is a perception component object. And we need a pawn sensing component. Pawn sensing component. Oh, there's a whole thing called a pawn sensing component. The pawn sensing component. I've never even heard of this thing. Oh, this is wild. But it doesn't look like, this doesn't even connect to the one that we're working with. Oh my goodness, this is nuts. All right, let's try something else. Because this rabbit hole just keeps on going. What I'm going to do, until I can wrap my head around AI a little bit better, is I am going to, let's draw a line. All right, so if I receive damage, let's see if we can do something in here. Hold on a second. So first thing I want, here's what I'm thinking. If we take a step back, all right, what I'm thinking is, if we take damage and the vector that we have will tell us the direction that it's coming from, I'm just going to tell the character to look over there. So if I get shot from the left, I'm just going to tell the character to look over there and then let the sight sense take over. And so in this particular case, what I want to do to see if that's going to work is I'm going to draw a normal. I'm going to use this normal that's in this hit result, and I'm just going to draw a quick debug line to see if that's actually the direction that I think it is. And if it is, then I'll just tell the character to look that way. So let's go in and do that. All right. So here is our normal, and let's just draw a draw debug line. And in this case, we're going to draw a line from the hit actor. Let's get the world location. Get the world location. Or let's just get location. Get actor location. So let's draw a line. We're going to start our line at the actor location, and we're going to finish our line. We're going to take the actor location, and we're going to add in the normal to it, and we're going to end the line there. Now, I'm concerned that if this is a normalized normal, it's only going to be 1 unit long, so we're not going to be able to see it. So let's make the thing hot pink. And let's make it last for a while. 10 seconds just so we can see if we can see it. All right, let's go ahead and see what this does. Is there a node called Ace? I think I've heard of one. Morongo? Am I saying that right? Morongo? I think there is. But what? He just climbed that character. Let's take a quick break. And maybe you're giving me a hint about something I'm supposed to be looking at. UE4 AI stimulus. The perception stimulus source. There's your testing the perception system. Enable the perception debug mode. Oh, interesting. So there's a debug mode that we can use. Oh, that was pretty sweet. I actually don't see that. I'll have to take a look at that. Thanks for asking the question though. Let's go back here real quick and see if we can get our vector to draw. Okay, runtime error. Draw a debug line. What is the runtime error here? Access none, trying to read part of a hit actor. Okay, so the hit actor is bogus. What? All right, fine. Let's just try the location then. Why would the hit... It looks like our hit result is bogus. Okay, we didn't get a runtime error that time. But I also don't see our vector anywhere. And usually... All right, let's make this thing really big. So what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply this by a float, like 200. See if we can make this really long. So theoretically, this should be the location. The other thing, you know what, we're going to do something else. We're going to draw a debug sphere as well. Debug sphere. And we're going to put it at the location that we're using. And we'll make that red. And the duration of 2, and a thickness of 1. So now we should be drawing a sphere where this damage is supposedly happening. I don't see a sphere. I don't think we have the information that we want right now. Welcome to Unreal Debugging. All right, I'm gonna try something here. We eject. I was hoping to see if the sphere was drawing somewhere else. Possess. Checked. I don't see it anywhere. Okay, so the link I sent will trigger on site U on the damage event update Blackboard value for me. Oh, I dig it. I love this kind of help. What do we got here? AI perception updated. For each loop, AI get actor's perception. Break actor perception. Actor has tag. Last sensed stimuli. Hold on. Hold on. So if we do this, here, I'm just going to throw up this quick view that Morongo sent to try to break this down. So basically what we're doing here is on the perception update, we're going through each of the updated actors, and then from the AI perception, it's grabbing the info. And then if they have the tag, it does branch and does stuff. The interesting thing here though is there's a last sensed stimuli there. I wonder if we can get what we want to from that. Thank you for sending that. That's awesome. This will fire when a player enters the perception radius. Yes. Depending on what the perception is. Interesting. All right, let's go back to that in a minute, because right now, the fact that this line isn't drawing anywhere where I think it is kind of blows my mind a little bit. It's like our hit info is bogus. Like, what do we have? Do we have anything in here? Get display name, like, because right now, like, this thing is doing nothing. And our blueprint is getting messier, so we're gonna have to clean this up just to be able to see it. All right, so we're going to get the display name. We're going to print another string. It is gonna take us a really long time to make this game. Okay. So theoretically, if I shoot this enemy now, it did not print the actor name. Man, is it even going in here? I have my doubts. Let's try this. Okay, it's definitely coming in here. Get the display name. Of the hit actor. Oh, genius. You need to connect in what it is. Okay, cool. Let's try this again. Control tab back, remove this breakpoint. Control tab back, play. Yes, I did. We do have an on damage event. But look at that, our name is nothing. Yes, we do have an on damage event. So it's here. But the interesting thing is our display name is bogus, man. All of this seems bogus right now. It's like this hit is not really what I think it is. And so that would make sense. Any damage. All right, we can try any damage. Event, any damage, any damage. Damage type instigated by, and that's a damage amount. Damage type object reference. What can we do with this? We have an instigator and we have a damage amount. Oh man, I totally lost track of what we were trying to do in the first place. We basically just wanted the character to update their senses or look at where it came from. I do not understand why. Instigator. Get display name. Get display name. Let's print this instead. This is starting to get super messy. We're going to print the instigator from the actual damage instead. And is it going to print me? Is it going to print anything? Enemy. Oh, great. Use event any damage. When hit by a projectile, you use apply damage. Yes. On damage event, update the blackboard with new target. I guess we could update the... Yeah, we could do that. That would work too. I mean, that would definitely work for prototype. Instigator, character, get actor. I like that. We'll try that in a second. Get actor location. I'm still bugged out that this thing is nothing right now though. Get actor location. Move this up. The fact that it's not drawing a pretty line for me is disturbing. There we go. Okay. All right. Finally. I use a combination of blueprint and BT. Any damage event, update the blackboard with new target. Yeah. Okay. So actually, there's a lot of cool simplicity to what Morongo is suggesting here. I definitely like to make things complex. So let's cover a couple of these things here. One, basically what we're saying, what Morongo is saying is, and I apologize if it's Morango or Morongo, I'm not sure which it is, but what they're saying is when the character gets hit, what we could do is we can find out the damage buildings use event any damage. When hit by a projectile, you can use apply damage. Yep. Applied damage will fire any damage, right? And then the event black door with a new target. So basically, when the damage comes, then we would basically update the blackboard target. And then what would happen is when we trigger that, the character will just automatically start looking for that target. We can kind of hook into that system instead. That's kind of nice and simple. I like that. While we're here, if you'll notice, it actually is drawing a vector now. You can see it. It's coming from the character and it's shooting off. But what you'll notice is one of the problems is look at where it's going so far. And this was my concern. The damage vector itself does not point in the direction the projectile was coming from. And so it doesn't do me any good because if he goes to look off where these giant pink lines are going, he's not actually going to look at me. You know, the other interesting thing is, hold on a second. There's another bit here. You know what's cool? My effects, my damage effects are actually getting fired off from where the actual thing is hitting the character. So that location seems to be a better location. So that was clearly coming off his elbow. That's clearly coming off his knee. That damage location seems to be better than what we're currently using. Let's shorten this vector and see if that helps us a little bit. Let's go down to 50, or let's go 20. Maybe it's just... And rather than drawing a line, let's draw an arrow. Because I want to know the direction. Debug arrow. Start. End. We'll keep with our hot pink. 10 seconds. 2 and 1. All right, it's still too long. Let's take this down to like 2. Man, that vector is crazy. All right, so we can go down to 1 on the size. We can keep that at 1, and then our arrow size, let's make that a 10. I've got a better idea. We can simplify this even more. I know how to simplify this a lot. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change this a little bit. I think what we're going to do, because we have the instigator and the damage causer, rather than doing all this hit result stuff, let's just clean this up. Let's get the location of the causer. Get the locate. This will be a lot simpler, and it's actually a lot more in line with what Morongo was suggesting. So let's get the location. Get the actor location. Let's get from that. We're going to take the sphere. We're not going to worry about anymore. We know it's in the right place. We're going to be drawing an arrow. Vector plus vector. That's our start. This is our end. Line end. Duration 1, thickness 1. This should draw a line from the enemy to us. But it's not. Oh my goodness. So the damage causer is bogus? Let's see what prints. That was printing enemy for the damage. I wonder if it's using the projectile. Wait, what? The damage causer is an enemy. Yes, agreed. So event on damage, that's the instigator, right? That's line start. Oh wait, I don't need that. This is the instigator. I don't need that. I need self. Get self. Get actor location. All right, with that actor location, so the self in this case is the enemy. So the line's going to start there, and the line is going to end on me. I don't need this print string. That should theoretically be it. And if that works, that also means that for some reason we are set to an enemy as well. Man. Make sure this stuff is connected in. Yes, Morongo's hit it on the nose. I kind of mentioned that. My goodness. Self is an actor. This should be the line start. The instigator should be an actor. Yeah, it did. Line end. I think what's happening is the enemy is saying, I'm damaged. It needs an actor. Well, self is an actor. Here's an actor location. The instigator is the actor. The problem is, what's interesting is if we print string on get display name, for example, just for ease, get display name, this is it. The first time it's going to print the instigator. So when we print this, it's printing enemy. So it's saying the enemy is the instigator. So what is, to your point, what is our projectile doing? My goodness, this is painful tonight. Whew. All right. So our projectile is here. Okay. That's not doing anything because none of this is connected. Projectile base. Hold on, what is happening in here? Branch, casteller, avatar actor. Okay, I have not looked at this in so long, it's crazy. So we've now moved into basically the ability system and the projectiles and everything like that. And so a lot of these are multi-line traces and stuff like that. This is where we spawn the projectile. BP ability projectile base. Multi-line trace. When it out hits, yes, I set the instigator to this avatar actor. So let's see if we're hitting this. We are hitting this. And this is the current ALS Animan character. So the spawn projectile is getting the instigator at least. And the projectile class that we're spawning is, let's see here, spawn transform. The projectile class must be getting passed in. It's probably coming from the gun. So we should hit that breakpoint though. This is bullets. So this is bullets. And then with the bullets, it's also doing a trace when it hits. If it's a blocking hit, which it does, the spawn projectile's getting some rotation, and then we're ending the ability. So what is bullets doing? Let's look at bullets. All the things I didn't think we were going to be looking at tonight. So here's a bullets blueprint. Whoa. So this doesn't do a lot. Basically this isn't doing anything. It does have a hit component though. Interesting. So back here, when we're spawning these bullets, we're setting the instigator. Is that one of our variables? Yes, our instigator is here. Okay. the hit component is inherited. Laser mesh. Yeah, most of the code will be in the parent. That's right. Yes, I'm using the ability system. So on begin play, that's on hit. Hit actors, in other actor, add. This sets the hit direction, which is from the trace start and end. Oh gosh, my head is exploding right now. 11:30, almost. Okay, so we're gonna come in. That's where we apply our gameplay effects. This is where we're spawning our VFX hit at the location. Hit headshot particle. That's the hit spark particle. And it's just at the actor location, and the actor location this plane and this point. Oh, it's where the projectile hits. That's why. Okay. So on hit. Hit actors. Cast AL speed. Set the hit direction. We do a sequence of stuff. Here's our hit results. We're adding. Ooh, look at this. Looks like we're not setting the hit actor. Good call. Thank you so much for chiming in. So let's see if we set this hit actor, if that will help us have some information. So if we take this hit actor and plug it in here, does that give us some information now in our instigator? Also, it might be worth checking what our hit info has in it as well. So let's break this. Break the hit info. Wait a minute. Break. Break the hit result. So according to this, we are only setting our location and the hit bone name. That's interesting. Let's see what this is set to. See if we're even getting the same. We're so far into the weeds. If anybody's watching this later and you can follow this, it's going to be amazing. All right. Let's remove this, resume. All right, our hit bone name is none. So that is definitely not carrying forward. So at this point, this hit result that's on damaged doesn't have the info we want. And our instigator is the enemy. Let's see what this damage, the actual. I want to print what the display name is of this. None. None. It's great. Nothing is set. Holy cow. All right. Well, I would say we made not a lot of progress tonight and got a whole lot more questions. I think we need to go back and revisit a bunch of stuff with the ability system. It feels like some of the basics here are missing. Morongo, thank you so much for a lot of your suggestions. It's awesome. I'm going to go back and take a look at what's going on with the way I've hacked together the ability system or something to figure out how we can get these the actual hit to be properly set, right? And basically, for anybody else who was trying to follow that, do not be at all discouraged, because that was a nightmare from a like hard to follow standpoint. The summary version of what I would offer though is that for some reason, all of the hit results, all of the information that we think we have, none of it's being set. So either it's not set or we're getting it from the wrong actor. Either way, until we figure that out, a bunch of these damaged things and figuring out where we're supposed to be looking and stuff like that is going to be very difficult to do. So what I'm going to do next time is probably dig into what's going on with that, and I'll try to do a little bit of research between now and then. So hopefully it's not quite as all over the map as it was tonight. All right. Again, thanks for everybody who were watching, and apologize for the first few minutes where we were just streaming my face instead of the Unreal screen. All right, catch you all Wednesday morning.